Hi. For those that don't know me, I'm Virginia Walton, and I'm an executive coach focused on helping women who are on the verge of or experiencing burnout find better ways to manage their stress, maximize their productivity, and get back on track. Prior to starting my coaching practice, I spent 24 years in the banking and finance industry, where I worked my way from teller at a small community bank to senior vice president. Excuse me. I was the senior vice president of a $27 billion bank. I'd actually achieved the level of senior vice president by 38. I would love to tell you that it was easy peasy and family connections and fancy degrees. It wasn't. It was a lot of hard work, long days. I didn't always work as smart as I should. And I nearly burned out along the way. So I'm very passionate now about helping other women have the same, preferably greater success than I had without experiencing that stress and pain and exhaustion. Because let's face it, it was exhausting. So today we're talking about 5 ways to master your calendar. No, I'm not going to give you some secret trick in Outlook. It's actually even more basic than that. So it's midweek. Take a look at your calendar. Are you seeing days of back-to-back meetings? Are you looking and saying, okay, well, while I sit in that call, I can work on this other thing? Are you looking to see which calls and meetings you need to take from the car because you got to get the kids to sports practice or dance or what other great activities they do after school? Yeah. Sound familiar? I've done that. Do you see space to actually do work, to think, to advance your team, to advance the organization? Probably not. If you've answered yes to any or all, stop. Just stop. That is not sustainable. You can't keep doing it. 1, physically, you can't maintain that pace. And 2, you're not going to produce the awesome quality work. You're not going to lead your team the way you are capable of, the way you want to. How counterproductive is that? You're killing yourself physically, draining every bit out of you and not getting the best out of it. So stop. There's a better way. Here's what you should be seeing on your calendar. Time to think. Time to do work. A colleague and I used to joke, we had meetings from, before 9 until 5, and then at 5 o'clock we could start to do our work. That's ridiculous. And I bet that resonates with a lot of you. You need time to think, to produce quality results, innovative ideas. You should have time and opportunities when you look at your calendar to delegate. Listen, I get it. Delegating at first felt like passing the buck. Oh, that's beneath me. It's not. It's growing your team. Do you hear me? Delegating is growing and helping them advance. That's what you want for them, right? You're that kind of leader. Give them that opportunity. Look for the things that, I'm just here as invited for awareness. That's a great opportunity to send them. And help coach them if they're not focusing on the key items when they come back and report back. That's what you want. So look for the opportunities to delegate, not for the opportunities to multitask. Because as I've said before, multitasking is crap. You're not really doing it. When you think you're multitasking, you're basically half-assing 2 or more things. Your calendar should have some downtime. No, regularly. Whether it's a little short break during the day to refresh and recharge, that's why we need lunch breaks. Make sure you get a break. You need downtime. You got 7 days. Don't be running around crazy Monday to Friday with work and getting the kids everywhere. And then Saturday, it's errands and games and taking care of elderly parents and helping them with their stuff. And I get it. But somewhere in there, you need time for you. Because if you don't rest and recharge, you're not going to be able to do all those things. You're not going to be any good to anybody else. You need time to breathe. Right? It cracks me up. In high school, we used to get the time for the passing of classes, right? I went to Catholic school. So if we had mass, instead of getting our usual 4 minutes, we only got 3 minutes. But you still had time to shift physically and mentally. In college, it was 20 minutes. And I went to Rutgers in New Brunswick, where there were multiple campuses. And I remember an advisor telling me, do not book back-to-back classes on different campuses. You can't get there. Yet in corporate America, we think nothing of ending a meeting on the hour and expecting people to be in another meeting on the start of the same hour. Where's the time to get your stuff? You may not have to physically move if you're still working remote or it's a conference call. You just dial in or Zoom in or whatever. But you need to mentally shift. Start giving yourself time. If you're running the meeting, end it 5 or 10 minutes early to give people time to decompress from this and move to the next. Set the tone. Make that a habit. Tell people. If it's not your meeting, go, listen, I need to end 5 minutes early because I have something right after this. I worked in an office that had been a startup. Most of us kind of moved as a pack from one to the next with some minor change of players, but moved from one topic to the next. How can you mentally shift that fast? From like that. Even your computer doesn't move that fast. Give yourself the time. So, how do you do it? First, stop blindly accepting meetings. 1, if you're just hitting accept and not looking, you don't know if you need to be there. You don't know what's expected of you to be there. Here's where it could be an opportunity. 1, this may be great to delegate. So you can ask them to invite one of your team members. It may not need to be a meeting. It might be something that could be solved via email. Or you might be able to just pick up the phone and say to that person, hey, blah, blah, blah. Done. No meeting. You just had 30 minutes open up on your calendar. I had a client do this. Simple thing. All she did was stop just accepting meetings. She looked and questioned if it wasn't clear. She found a lot of them, they didn't need to be meetings. Or she didn't need to be involved. She got hours back a week that she wouldn't have had otherwise. Not to mention, I had a colleague, wonderful person, used to frustrate me. He would come to a meeting because he just blindly accepted. And then you show up and be like, what are we talking about? Okay, now there's 6 or 10 of us sitting here. You're not prepared and you're a key participant. Thanks. Now we have to waste time. Even though the invite clearly outlined what we needed to accomplish and what you needed to come prepared with. So, if you're that colleague, think about what you're doing to your relationships with your peers. You're probably hindering them because you're frustrated, frustrating them because you're not prepared. You're being ineffective. You're being counterproductive because now time has to be wasted to get you up to speed. You might have to look things up, and we might have to schedule another meeting. So we basically had a meeting to schedule a meeting. Hello, huge time waste. So you may not be able to control your peers. I certainly couldn't change him, but you can control how you show up. You can lead by example. So don't be that person. Stop blindly accepting meetings. We've all seen the memes on social media. Oh, another meeting that could have been an email. Plan and prioritize. Look at your week. Look for the opportunities to say, I don't need to be there. This is just kind of keeping me involved or informed. I'm going to delegate. Let me get with my team member and have them go and participate in this. Boom. You spent 10 minutes prepping them. You got an hour back. Plan a break. Make it non-negotiable. Now, granted, I used to try to block time to work on things, and things would get booked over. Okay. And some colleagues were great and would say, listen, you're the only one that had a conflict at that time. Can you shuffle? All right. Respect that they acknowledge that and look and see. Shuffle. Don't give up that break. Make sure you're getting it. And hey, if you can't shuffle, is it something you delegate? It won't always happen, and I get that. Sometimes you might have to be a little bit flexible. But make those the exceptions, not the norm. Prioritize. What you need to get done this week may not be what somebody else wants to work on. So look and say, hey, you know what? I know you scheduled time this week, but my schedule's a little tight, and this isn't due till January. Can we push it back? Sure. Especially if it's only two of you. Be realistic. Not everything needs to be done right now. I get it. We live in a society of instant gratification. We're used to instant messages and emails and texts, and we want everything now. We have no sense of patience. Everything doesn't need to be an emergency. And I get it. If you're in a culture like that, it sucks. So do your best to control your own priorities. You won't be able to control everything else. And if it's that bad, maybe it's time for a change. Or be the voice. You're a leader. Be the voice of the change. Everything is not a fire drill. We'll cover how to make that change another day. Treat your time like it's cash. Treat your calendar like it's your wallet. You wouldn't just walk around the office with your wallet open. Here's my cash, here's my credit card. No. Why do you do that with your calendar? Especially since you can always make more money. If you have a job, there's going to be another paycheck. There's going to be another bonus. You will replenish what's in your wallet, what's in your bank account. You can't replenish your time. We all get 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We don't all get the same number of weeks. And none of us knows how many weeks are in our account. So, given you can look and see what's in your wallet, what's in your bank account, and you treat that with care, but you can't see how many weeks and how many months are in your account, shouldn't you treat that with greater care? So again, don't walk around with your calendar open because you wouldn't do it with your wallet. If you change your mindset and treat your time like every time somebody takes it, you're handing them a 20 or whatever you figure out your hourly rate to be based on your salary. I did that one time with a colleague. We had noticed we had developed a culture of just a ridiculous amount of meetings. So we calculated all the various committees and standing meetings we had. The average number of participants, given they were managers, we assumed a 6-figure salary, calculated an hourly rate. Now, obviously, some made more, some made less, but we certainly couldn't go ask our peers what they made. And we started putting dollar values on meetings. And we presented that to our senior leadership team. Think about that. Start putting a dollar value on every meeting you have. Would you spend it? Would you make sure it's the most productive time you have? Would you really allow people to be late? Would you allow the conversation to segue, go off track? Would you allow people to fill the hour? Probably not. If that was one of your financial metrics, you'd manage it damn well. Start doing that. You got to build in some self-care. Whether it's a walk, whether it's, an exercise class, a workout, time to sit and read your favorite novel. Just 10 minutes to sit and have a cup of coffee with no device, nobody around. Just 10 minutes of silence. Or maybe I would be tea, not a coffee drinker. Find it. Make it non-negotiable. You have those habits, right? You wouldn't leave the house without brushing your teeth. You wouldn't get in the car to drive to work without gas in the tank. Don't leave the house without having your time planned. Whether it's you do it before you leave and start your day, or it's at bedtime, or it's midday. Have some time to take care of you, to refresh, recharge. Otherwise, you're not giving the best of you to anybody because you're not taking care of you. My non-negotiable, 5-10 minutes of meditation every morning. It's not a lot. Now, yeah, there are some days where my morning did not go as planned. Okay, you know what? I'm not calling it a day without getting that in. Even if it means before I leave, I'm going to sit in the car for 10 minutes and just be still. Or when I got home from field hockey practice, I'm just going to sit in the car and decompress for a few minutes. Take some deep breaths and relax. Because it makes a difference. What works for me will not work for you. So find what fuels you and recharges you. And treat it as if it's the same kind of habit as you have as brushing your teeth and taking a shower. Because those are fundamental things to take care of ourselves. It's always a little bit of quiet time. A little bit of recharge. Heck, most of us don't leave the house without a phone charger. Yet we think we can run without a recharge. Come on. You're worth it. You can have the time. You'll find the time when you start treating your calendar like it's cash. That's how you master. Your time is valuable. Don't waste it. Stop multitasking. Stop blindly accepting meetings. Stop letting other people decide really what's the priority for your time. It's yours. You know what your priorities are at work. You know what your deliverables are. You control that. Be realistic. Yeah, your boss is going to set the deadlines. Okay. There's your priorities. If it's not one of those, it can wait. Take a deep breath. Look at your calendar. Treat it the way you would a financial metric that your bonus depends on. Let that sink in. I'm going to say that again. Manage your calendar like you're managing one of your metrics that impacts your bonus. And you will suddenly be so much more thoughtful about how you're spending your time. So I hope you have found this helpful. And remember, maybe you didn't need to hear this right now, but one of your friends did. Most of us don't want to talk about that we're exhausted, we're struggling to keep up. I'm here if you are. I'm here to help you. Trust me, I've been there. So if you need help, let's talk. If you're ready to make this change, let's talk and get you on the right path. And if you're like, no, I'm good, consider sharing this, because one of your friends may be feeling that pain, but they're too embarrassed to say anything. So you might be helping them more than you know. So I hope this was helpful. Drop me a comment on Facebook, LinkedIn, my YouTube channel. Check out my website, virginiawalton.com. And with that, be well.